Welcome to day 3. It's starting to get to me a little bit. Going to store after store is a workout. And the fact that I've been watching a Ken Burns documentary on country music, plus the fact that I'm listening to music in between stops, makes me feel like I'm a musician, despite the fact I'm not playing any instruments. I'm driving a car. We're going a little bit farther north today. I'm hoping to hit like a little cluster shops that are like all near each other. Hopefully once I get up to that area, it should be a little bit closer together. But the ride up there and the ride back will probably be like put on some music, sing along, let's get this drive out of the way type of deal. So yeah, I'm excited. I got the things that I need. And I'm going to get some gas again because I went through half my tank yesterday. Simply because itty bitty's a small car. Itty bitty needs a lot of food if I'm going to drive it that much. I just came out of Do You Knit, and it's a small store, but it's bustling. There was at least a dozen people in there, and it's good to see. It's good to see that they got the business. It's a very small store. It's inside the strip mall. With Do You Knit, they clearly have a theme color. The theme color is pink. So when I went in, I actually saw a whole display with just this color alone, and it's like, okay, this is clearly something special to this store, and it's a good color, so let me get it. And it turns out, with this particular color, they only sell it at this store. They used to stock it, and they would sell out in a day consistently. So it's like, all right, let's just get more than we could possibly sell in a day. And they have several samples around the store that have this yarn in it, and it's cool. It makes it nice and cheery. I saw a lot of brands in the store I haven't been seeing in other stores, and all the yarns like coming from the same place, although it's very bougie. The prices were a little bit high, but that's okay. That's okay, because the colors were good. I have the store's special yarn, and then I got another yarn in a same company, but another colorway that I also liked. I just saw this color, and I saw this yarn. Like, I felt it and it felt good. However, it didn't have a price tag, but I was able to find another one nearby that had a similar price tag, so I just pointed it out to the owner so that way she could figure it out. I've been seeing this colorway in a couple other different stores, and it's like, you know what? I keep seeing it. I should just get it. So I did, and I don't know what I'm going to make with it. Probably a frog. This is another brand that they've been having a lot of, like the Moon Dance, and then I don't typically go for this color, but this is like, they captured the highlighter perfectly. And I mean, it's called highlighter. Oh, it's made in Ireland. Cool. It's like, it felt good too. So I was like, yeah. And then originally I go like, no, I don't need a bag. I've been saying that for most of the stores, honestly, because I've pretty much been having the one bag. I've been trying to put as much yarn into it to kind of, one, reuse my own bags, but also to like cut down on like that. But then the cashier put it in this bag. This is like an iridescent loveliness. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think this is more iridescent than holographic. But I was like, you know what? I'll take this bag, yeah. And apparently I'm not the only one who does it. And the fact that it's reusable, I mean, cool, yeah. Well, we'll find a use for this one. It was a pretty quick trip. Hopefully I won't have to drive so far to get to the next store, but we're gonna head to the next store now. I just came from Wool and Grace, and while the parking around Wool and Grace is a little bit more of a hassle than some of the other stores, the store itself is lovely. Oh my gosh, it's just a small little store. It's packed with yarn and kits, and there's also a little section for like stitching as well, like not like actual sewing, but well, I mean like sewing to put stuff together, but cross stitching and needlepoint and stuff like that. They have a whole wall just with embroidery thread as well. And they had some unusual yarns there, which were pretty cool. So even though like I've been seeing Malbrigo throughout the majority of the stores I've been going to, this color just stood out, and it's like, I like this color. And there was one moment where I put it down because I didn't know if I was going to come back to it, and I saw another lady pick it up. I was like, oh, I hope she doesn't take it. And then she put it back down. It's like, okay, this is my chance. I'm going to take it now. It was also nice and bustling inside, which I guess because it's Friday, more people are actually going out today to the stores. This is the Cowgirl Blues. This is the first time I've seen this brand. It's a indie dyer made in South Africa. And the cool thing about this one is she's naming the different colorways after female singers. So this one's Cher. I don't know, there's just something that's pretty cool about this. And these yarns are feeling nice too. And then this is a other brand I haven't heard before. It's like Earth. It's like it's spelled like that. Oh, if I'm holding it right. There we go. But I just saw this color. It was like the last skein of this color, and it's like, this one's mine. Even though it's fingering, which means it's gonna be pretty small. Like, it's gonna be a pretty small project, but I just love the colorway here. And then this was another Malabrigo one that I just saw the colorway, and it's like, you know, I like that. They had a nice selection of yarns there. I found a boucle yarn. It's barely blue, which, I mean, it is barely blue, but you can tell it's blue, which is nice. It feels soft too. It's another boucle yarn. This color is another earth yarn. It's worsted, which means it's not going to take forever to knit with because it's nice and thick. It's just such a deep, rich blue. It's a good thing the store's getting a lot of business because, like, as I was buying, like, the cashier, Patty, like, she ended up giving me another thing because part of the wool walk is you get a stitch marker if you spend more than $35 at the store. And she's like, I ran out of stitch marker, so you get this other thing instead, which, to be fair, I'm okay with that because the fact that she ran out of stitch markers means she's getting the business, which is good. I'm very happy for her there. The last thing was this kit. They had a lot of kits. Like a lot of kits, and they had a couple stuffed animals ones, and they didn't really have the sheepies yarn other than in the kits, but it's like a nice color and like a nice animal. I'm not sure if I have too many starfish patterns right now, but even so, it's just like a cute little thing to give it a try and like see how the kit goes. That's another thing in itself. Also, the good thing to note about Wool and Grace is that they do have a bathroom in the store. A couple of the other stores had like no public bathrooms, please don't ask. Wool and Grace had one. It was a very delightful, cheery store, very friendly too. I'm gonna head off to the next store now. I just came out of the Blue Pearl, and this is the first time I've overspent my budget. I set myself a budget for like $100 to $200 per store, because I figured that'd be reasonable. I went over $200 at this store, but it was worth it. They had beautiful yarns. So when I came in, I was greeted by Eva. What I do appreciate about it is, before just giving me the whole spiel, she actually asked me if I wanted to hear the spiel or not. And I decided to listen to the spiel. And it was helpful because she told me that they had a trunk show going on right now, Miss Babs. And that was something that was unique to their store. So when I'm visiting these stores, I like to get something that is unique to that store. And that's where bulk of the money went to, was actually the trunk show. I found quite a few beautiful yarns, and I also got a couple books. So I'm going to start with the books, actually. So I found a pattern book for knitted toys, which it's nice that it's like knitted toys because I get a lot of like crochet toys as well. So the patterns in here are so delightful. And then I got like this knit along book, which is a bit of a pattern book, but it's also a bit of a history book too. And it's like I want to read about it, so I got it. It's like I picked up the books before I picked up any yarn, honestly. And then I'm going to start with the trunk show. So this is Lights Out. Like, what a beautiful yarn, right? Like, even though it's super thin, like, I don't know what I'm going to make with this. And then it's like, this one's called chances are that I would like this. It's a nice thicker yarn. I can make up something pretty quickly with that. And then there were two skeins from Miss Babs that the first one was this is why I went over. The first skein just caught my eye and it's like, gosh. And then the name is World in a Book. I mean, absolutely beautiful. I mean, I'm just in awe. And then I went around the table and they're the same type of yarn. This is called Dream House. Even more stunning. And it's like, I have to choose one. And it's like, wait, I can get both. It's like, this yarn walk is a bit of a treat for me. So why not treat myself, right? I'm just like pacing myself though, but it's like another store I was a little bit less under. So I allowed myself. That's probably going to be the biggest splurge I have on this trip, honestly. So that's the end of Miss Bab stuff. This skein was named after the store. So I asked, is this colorway specifically for your store? And they said yes. So this is the Blue Pearl. And it's so pretty. And then the last thing I got was a bit of a weird color. Not really my color most of the time, but I just saw it and it's like, you know what? That could be interesting. And it was a brand I'd never seen before. It's Jill Draper Make Stuff. It's like a greenish brownish type of thing. That was my haul. I'm very pleased. Wendy helped me out a lot, and like all the other employees, they were very nice as well. And they did inform me that some of the letters were out of order on the passport. That they did confirm that the passport does spell something out, which was nice. And even though the parking around the area not so great, I am parked in front of a law firm right now, I believe. The store itself, beautiful. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna eat something real quick and then it's on to the next store. I came out of Beyond Yarn and it's a very delightful little store. I was greeted right away as I came in. They had some people knitting in the back, and one of the employees, Christine, came up to me and just gave me the whole spiel of how like they had leftover from a trunk show they had yesterday, and they had a trunk show there today, and all the different deals that she had on. And like, she was very, very helpful and very friendly too. So I got some good yarn here. Some very good yarn. So this yarn was from the trunk show that they had yesterday, which had my name on it. Like shiny, this color. I'm finding out I have a bit of a color scheme. It seemed to be pastel. Cool color pastel, which amazing. I saw this yarn was targeted to amigurumi. So it's like the first time I've seen like amigurumi marketed yarn, with the exception of the glow in the dark yarn. But it'll be interesting to make a stuffed animal with this and see how it goes. It's like a nice texture. And then this one I bought because, oh my, well, one, the color was amazing, but also, how did it get wound like that? Oh my gosh, like I just had to show you guys, like, look at how that was wound. I mean, that was a machine that wound that, but wow. If that was a marketing technique, it worked on me. And then this one, the color just caught my eye. It's like cashmere and wool. Yeah, merino wool. It was just a nice, pretty color. And then I saw this color, which it felt good. What was, yeah, wool and polyamide. But it was just like, look at how it went. And then the person who had a trunk show there today was called the Periwinkle Sheep. And obviously when someone has a color in their name, you look to see if they make that color. And she did. This is Periwinkle Sheep Periwinkle. Like, it felt so good too. And the colors she had were absolutely stunning. Oh my gosh. And then she, like, her purples in general were out of the ballpark. Like, and this one's called Time Capsule, I believe. Yeah, it's like a nice colorway. Time Capsule. And then I'm gonna struggle doing this one-handed, but I saw a t-shirt and it was like, do you have another one of those? Or do you have more of those? And Christine was like, yes. So you may see me wearing that a little bit more on this channel. And then when I came out, I happened to walk by a bookstore, so I went and dropped my yarn off in the car, and then I went back to the bookstore and I bought stuff from the bookstore. I'm not necessarily going to show off what I bought from the bookstore because it's not that type of video. The bookstore itself was also a very nice place that was literally just a couple stores away from Beyond Yarn. So I'm going to insert a quick clip of the bookstore now. Now I'm going to figure out how to get to the next store, which it seems like the stores are open later today, which is nice, which means I'm not, like, I think I went to the store that closed earliest already. So at this point, it's just, I have a little bit more time in case I get lost, because I've been getting lost a lot today. I just came out of the local yarn store, and it's a pretty decent store. There are lots of people in it, which I think that's just a theme of today. There's a lot of people in the store today. But I was greeted right as I came in. I was told about a raffle that they had, and they like took care of my passport right away. And then they did another like quick door prize, so I got a ruler. And then as I walked around the store, they had a trunk show going on, so I made sure to buy something from the trunk show. They also had a lot of yarns in there that were not wool based. They were good for having other textures there, which a lot of stores, like, they have a lot of yarn, but it's largely wool. And while I'm not allergic to wool, it's not my favorite texture to work with. Although a lot of the wool I have been feeling the past couple days has been so nice. So first, this is the yarn I got from the trunk store. Person's name, yeah, there was a like, she died and spun her yarn. Her name is Kira. And I saw this one, it's like, this one's mine. And like, she was she was selling both the fiber and the spun yarn itself. And it was an absolutely gorgeous yarn. Like, she was amazing at choosing the colors. It's like interesting, like I can see there's like a bunch of different like colors and textures in here. It's like different thicknesses. It's pretty cool. Don't know what I'm going to make with it yet. This is a nylon acrylic mix, and I've been using this texture to make a lot of frogs recently. So I was, even though it's not the same brand I've been using, I was thankful to get a couple skeins for really cheap. It turns out that they're being discontinued. Like I met one of the people working there, Ariana, told me that I think she might actually be the owner. I'm not sure about that. But she told me she was actually having trouble like reordering it, which is why she marked it down so much, because she thinks it's being discontinued. But I got it in this color, and then I got it in this yellow, and then I got it in this pink. So that's going to be a couple frogs. I found this bamboo yarn. So it's like bamboo and cotton mix. Ooh, I love the texture, and so I got a nice color yarn for that. And then I saw this in the other store, but I forgot to get it, so I made sure to get it here because I saw it. This is Airmore. It doesn't feel the best, but it says Donegal Heritage. My Irish relatives hail from Donegal, so I got this to show Dad. Hey, Dad, look at this. That's the main reason I got that yarn, but I'll find something cool to make with it. And then I saw this, and it's a straight up acrylic yarn, but I have a green yarn that's similar to this and I love it, so I'm excited to be working with that. And I've just started accepting bags. I'm starting to run out of space in the duffel bag that I brought. Also, I'm very thankful for the fact that the store had a bathroom because it was starting to get to be that time of the day. The only downside of this yarn store, which is not the yarn owner's fault whatsoever, is the parking around the area, because parking is tight. and there are parking spots, but they're accompanied with no trespassing signs, which this was the most stressful place to park at so far. But I was able to find a spot. So it all worked out in the end. Like, the store more than made up for the parking. I just came out of Yarnia, and parking around Yarnia and trying to find Yarnia was a bit of an adventure. I think I'm parked in front of somebody's house. There's actually some kids playing in the street behind me. But there's like a parking lot, and the way that Google told me to turn, I was expecting to see it on the street that I turned, and then it turns out I was going kind of perpendicularly, and then I tried to enter through the back entrance, but I had to walk around the front. But once I was actually in, it was a very nice store. I was greeted right away by Kathleen, and she told me about all the different deals, and she had like a piece of paper with the different sales and deals that was going on, and they had a colorway that was specific to this particular store. So obviously I got that color. Which is like, it's a delightful color. And it was funny, like, I was actually thinking about getting this branded on another store. I said no. I realized it's because I got it here. I found some wonderful yarn here. So this next brand, I haven't bought any of it yet, but I bought it at this store because I love the color. It's Noro. Literally, like, this along with Malbrigo is literally at every store, like Nora yarn. So it's a yarn from Japan. It's like, this is not the skein that I recognize. Like, usually they have it like in some sort of ball, but I just love this color, and it actually feels nicer than some of the other yarn that I felt from theirs. So I'm pretty excited to be working with this. And then, whoop, as the yarn tries to become naked on me, and it's like, no, keep your tag on. I got some baby yarn that is like the softest thing ever. I think this is, yeah, this is just straight up acrylic, but it's so soft. Oh my gosh. These are frogs for sure. I got that, and this yarn, and this yarn as well, all the same brand. It felt amazing. And then, it's probably easier if I use my other hand to get into it. They had some yarns on sale that had some nice textures. So there's this gray yarn that like feels really soft. It's a merino nylon cashmere mix. And then this yarn, like, the texture is kind of but the way this shines, I think this is just straight merino. No, it's viscose and virgin wool. But just the way this shines, it's like, oh my gosh, wow. And then I found a kit. It's a shark. I have a plan for this. So you will end up seeing the shark at some point in the future. I don't know when in the future, but at some point in the future. And then when I checked out, the person who took care of me, Seisha, she actually had this thing set up that was unlike something that I saw in the other stores, and it was really cute. So what she did was she had like two vases that were like gumball vases, and they were just like little wound balls of yarn. So you pick up a ball of yarn, and then like you unwind it, and what you get inside is your prize. And it's such a cute way of doing it. Oh my gosh. I want to, like, there's one for now and one for later. So the one for later is a coupon, but the one for now was I got a book or a yarn magazine. So I got another book today. It's like about color blocking, and it's like it was a very nicely done from like deal, like celebration. And then we did kind of get carried away with the prizes, and there was another customer right after me. So since it was also my 6th store of the day, I forgot my passport at the store, and she was quick on the call. Seisha just called me right away. I was like, hey, you left your passport here. And I'm very thankful she did that, because like knew I was going to look at the phone afterwards just to film this part and whatnot, and I was able to catch it before I'd driven anywhere, which made it so much easier to get back. since this is my 6th store of the day, I think I'm done. I could try to get another store in, but I think what I need to buy next is food. And then I'm like really close to New York right now, which is like a 2-hour trip from home. So I'm going to start heading home and get prepared for tomorrow. I just arrived home and it's raining. It's been raining for the last leg of the trip, and thankfully when the rain was really bad, it got to a point, like it got to a part of the trip where I'd driven multiple times before, like many times before. So if I couldn't see all the signs, it wasn't as bad because I kind of knew where I was. But yeah, I got a lot of rain and a lot of bags to bring. But yeah, when it came to the driving today, I think I got lost the most amount of times today. There were some roads that did not make sense. Like, I don't understand how it can stay the same road when there are 3 separate turns in the road. It's like, how is this still the same road? Why doesn't it have a different name? I thought the whole point was the fact that, like, literally, like, 45-degree turns. Like, wouldn't that qualify to be a new road? But apparently not. And I saw the most confusing traffic light today. And it was like, at the same time, it had a red light and a green arrow on the same light. And like the green arrow is pointing in like a upward diagonal. So I followed the green arrow. No one stopped me, so I hope I did the right thing at that intersection. Also, by complete surprise, I found myself in a reservation today. Like just driving through, I think it was like the Watchung reservation. Anyway, absolutely beautiful place, like so green. Oh man, it was peaceful driving through the reservation. I hit 6 stores today, so that means I've got most of it done. I think 6 stores, I did 11 yesterday, so 17 stores total so far. Which means I only got 5 stores left, which conceivably could be done in a day. Whether I do it in a day or not, I do not know. We will see how I am feeling tomorrow. But for now, I think I'm going to call my parents to open the door ahead of me, so that way I can minimize the time in the rain, especially since I don't have my raincoat on me. Even though I don't mind getting wet, but some of the bags are made out of paper.